wanted to make a quick little video about what I think the UFC should do with the Bantamweight division right now, because I think the Bantamweight division is actually like a bit of a standstill at the moment, and I don't really think there's that many fights that can be made. Well, there's some fights to be made, but I feel like we're just kind of like confused, right? Like we have no fights for the champ left. We have no noticeable contenders that are new, and if they are, they're usually just people that aren't really interesting. So I wanted to just talk about what fight should be next, and I'm going to start off with Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2. Now, you guys saw the first fight. I am one of those people that still think the first fight was a robbery. I gave it to, I gave it to Petr Yan, like, easily. I gave 2 rounds to 1. I actually even gave him 3 rounds, if I remember correctly. I just didn't give it to Sean at all. Like, I thought Peter did everything necessary, and I would love to see a rematch. Make it 5 rounds, make it somewhere in, like, the spring. Make it somewhere in the spring, Like, I think maybe a month or 2 from now, maybe 3 months max. Like, that's a fight we really need to see. And it would be fun to just watch it again. You guys remember seeing that fight? That was a nice fight. It was one of the Abu Dhabi cards, if I remember correctly. Might have been the same card as Islam versus Oliveira. I might be wrong. I'm not too sure. I think I probably am wrong. But it's one of those fights that I thought was just really exciting. And we just need that fight to happen again. Like, make it 5 rounds. Let's get a definitive answer this time. Who's the better fighter? And, I actually think in a rematch that I think Sean O'Malley is going to beat Petr Yan. But still, that's the fight I want to see. Everybody wants to see it. Give us 5 rounds of this fight, and it can even be like for title contention. All right. Next fight is actually for the champion Merab Dvalishvili. I want to see Merab versus Pantoja. Now, I know that supposedly Pantoja just announced, or the UFC supposedly announced that he's going to be fighting Kai Kara France. I think that's a rumor. I don't think that's confirmed. I have to double check. But if it's true, then what we can do is Merab needs to take a break. He just did a quick title defense turnaround in what? It was like 4 months in like a couple of days. I don't know how much it was, but it was around 4 months, which is actually pretty quick for a turnaround in a title defense, especially because Merab I think he had staph. I think he even had like an issue with his leg. And, he went out there and did everything he did. I think Merab deserves a break, and I think he can take a break around July or International Fight Week. And what can happen is Pantoja is just so good that I don't see anyone beating him at flyweight right now. I really don't. So after he gets through Kai Kara France, if that is the fight they're going through, what I want to see is I want to see him make a little bit of a quick turnaround and have him fight in June or July. And what we can do is we can make Merab fight Pantoja. Pantoja's going to be moving up, right? At 135, Bantamweight debut. And what we can do is we can have a fight around International Fight Week if Pantoja can make a quick turnaround if he actually is fighting Kai Kara France in April. Which, I think he should. I think he should make a quick turnaround because he didn't even take that much damage against Kai Kasakura. Like, you guys saw that fight. He barely took any damage. I know the weight cut is what's really hard on these guys, and that's why they don't fight as often sometimes. And that's why usually the people that fight really often don't weigh that much for their division. Someone of that example would be like Kevin Holland when he was fighting at middleweight, or Alex Pereira to a certain degree. Actually, he weighs a lot. That's a bad example, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I want to see that fight. I don't want to wait. I don't want to, have freaking Merab fight another rematch, fight Petr Yan or Sean O'Malley. I know for its title contention, but I want to see him fight Pantoja. That's the only new fight for Merab in the current division that makes sense. So that's the fight I want to see, and I don't want to see anything else. Next fight in the Bantamweight division that I think makes the most sense is Deiveson Figueiredo versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Deiveson just lost to Petr Yan. He's still, doing really good at a bantamweight. I think the next fight to make is you make Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Does that not make perfect sense if you think Does that not make perfect sense if you think about it? Think about it this way, guys. Umar just had his first loss in his career. He's not undefeated. Let's not pamper him with, easy fights that are going to be layups, And I know he's really good. He's probably the second best fighter in the division behind Merab. But I would like to see him fight someone that has a lot of power behind those hands. And what better than Deiveson Figueiredo? Deiveson I think is really good still, even though he got I don't think he got dominated by Petr Yan. Unfortunately, I couldn't see that fight. I was busy that day. But if I remember correctly, even though it was a 50-45, the rounds were pretty competitive, with the Petr Yan fight. So I think what you can do is you can make that as a co-main event of a pay-per-view, or what you can do is you can put it on the main event of a fight night. All right, you can put it as the main event, co-main event of a fight night, if not an important fight night, not like your average, basic, ordinary fight night. And you can have make it 5 rounds, make it exciting. I want to see a fight that makes sense, right? This is going to be such a really fun fight. You know, I want to see both of their grappling. I want to see both of their striking. I want to see how Umar deals with a power puncher like that. And I want to see how Davison handles a striker like that, you know? And I don't know who has the better grappling. I think Umar probably has better grappling, but I think he probably has less of a submission threat. I might be wrong. But it would be fun to watch. You know, I can't really... This is the fight that makes sense right now. This is the fight that I think is awesome. And it's one of the fights that I want to see the most in the bantamweight division. And it's a new matchup, too. It's a new matchup. It's not a rematch like Sean, Petr Yan 2. This is Davison versus Umar Nurmagomedov. It's a brand new matchup. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And it's almost impossible to mess this up. All right. So 2 more fights left. And this is going to be Corey Sandhagen versus the winner of Cejudo versus Dong. You know, it's Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. That fight's going to happen in like a week and a half from now, February 22. So I want to see him fight the winner, even though if Song Yadong wins, it's going to be a rematch. And I'm not really looking forward to that. I'm honestly actually kind of hoping for Henry to win now because I want it to be a new matchup. I would like to actually really like to see like, the whatchamacallit. I would like to see, Sandhagen versus Cejudo. So just because I want the division to like move on and have like newer fights, I don't want to see repeats. I would actually like to see Sandhagen versus Cejudo if Cejudo does win a lot. And I think that's a fight that they've been trying to make. Actually, like I think they tried to make it like once or twice, and it never happened, which is unfortunate. But it would be nice to see that happen, you know. And how does Sandhagen deal with someone with the grappling of Cejudo and this and that? And personally, I think Sandhagen beats Cejudo. I actually also think that Song Yadong beats Cejudo, but you never know. And it's just something that we can match up. And it's a fight that I think makes sense a little bit. Because right now, I don't know who you give Sandhagen. I really don't, actually. All right, next fight. This is for Jose Aldo. I want to see Aldo versus the loser of Cejudo versus Dong. And personally, I think that's probably going to be Cejudo. So I think we're probably going to get a rematch with Sandhagen with Dong. And I think we're going to get a Jose Aldo versus Henry Cejudo probably. And that's a fight that I want to see because you're putting like 2 old heads, 2 old head legends up in there. And it would, on paper, it's just a nice match, you know. And I think Cejudo always wanted to fight Aldo, but he never did get the chance. I think Aldo put out of his match originally, and then you got Dominic Cruz that pulled up for his title defense at 135 for Cejudo's first title defense. So I would like to see that fight a lot, and I think it just makes all the sense in the world right now. Do you guys not agree? I think if you do lose to Song Yadong, you know, why not start chasing some legend fights? Why not chasing some fun fights, right? And I think he can actually win against Aldo if he does. Even though Aldo has like the best takedown defense in MMA, I would love to see that fight happen. Are you guys like, what do you guys think, you know? Because I think that's the best fight to make right now if Cejudo does lose to Dong. And I think he probably will. Anyways, that's it, guys. I just want to talk about this video real quick. Make some bantamweight matchups because I feel like bantamweight is in a bit of an odd place right now. Fights are falling through. We're not booking the right fights. People are taking their time. Like, where is Sean O'Malley right now? Like, come on. I want to see that guy fight even though I'm not a fan of him. As crazy as that is to sound. Anyways, I also wanted to say thank you guys for 40 subscribers. I'm now actually to 41. I really appreciate it. That means a lot. It seemed only like, you know, it seemed only like a couple days ago I was at 10 subscribers, even though that was like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago and a half. But I really appreciate it. I know it's not a lot. I'm probably growing at a slower rate than most channels, but it's just pretty cool to me that 41 people alone would subscribe to me. Like, that's pretty much like a party right there. And for me, that's crazy. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.